You wake up tired, and yet something inside you refuses to sleep. Your body feels heavy, your mind scattered, your spirit stretched thin but still. There is a quiet pressure pressing from within. It does not shout, it does not force, it simply waits. You try to name it as exhaustion, disappointment, or stress, but it is none of those alone. It is the strange contradiction of feeling small while being summoned for something immense. You feel unready, yet called, weak, yet watched, invisible, yet marked. You wonder how both things can be true at the same time. How can you feel lost while heaven seems so intentional about you? How can you feel behind while God appears to be on time? This tension is not accidental. This is not confusion. This is the precise intersection where calling and humility meet. You are not breaking, you are being positioned. You look at your life and see the gaps, the unfinished prayers, the unanswered questions, the moments where you whispered, "I can't do this," and meant it with every fiber of your being. You have compared yourself to others and felt disqualified. You have replayed your mistakes and wondered how God could still be involved with you. And yet, despite all of that, you are still here, still listening, still breathing, still drawn to this moment. That alone tells you something is at work beyond your strength. Chosen one. This is how divine calling often feels at the beginning, not like power, but like pressure, not like confidence, but like contradiction. God rarely calls you when you feel capable. He calls you when your self-reliance has thinned out enough for dependence to grow. What you interpret as weakness is often the space where God intends to show himself strong. You have been trying to reconcile two voices inside you. One says, "I'm tired. I've done enough. I just want peace." The other says, "Get ready. This night matters. Don't miss this." That second voice is not anxiety. It is not imagination. It is alignment. Heaven is not confused about you. Even when you are confused about yourself, there is a reason this calling feels heavier at night. Darkness strips away distractions. Silence amplifies truth. When everything slows down, what is eternal rises to the surface. This night was not random. It was written. Not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. Even your willingness feels fragile right now, but fragile willingness is still powerful obedience. You may feel like the least qualified person in the room. You may feel like your faith is smaller than it used to be. You may feel like you are carrying more questions than answers. But listen carefully. God does not recruit based on your current strength. He appoints based on your future obedience. The calling on your life does not contradict your weakness, it explains it. If you were strong enough on your own, you would never look up. This is the paradox of being chosen. You are called while still healing, sent while still learning, marked while still trembling. And yet, heaven does not pause its plans because you feel small. In fact, Scripture shows again and again that God prefers this moment, the moment when you know you cannot do it without Him. You have been interpreting your weariness as a sign to stop. God is interpreting it as a sign to rest in Him, not retreat from Him. There is a difference. Rest does not mean disengagement, it means alignment. And alignment often begins when you finally admit, "I can't carry this alone anymore." You are not here by algorithm. You are not here by coincidence. This is divine intervention wrapped in quietness. Heaven is leaning in, not to condemn you for your weakness, but to reveal its purpose. The night is not threatening you, it is preparing you. What feels like an ending is actually a threshold. The ancient words recorded in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 9. speak directly into this moment. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Read that again slowly. Power is not delayed by weakness, it is completed through it. God does not wait for you to become strong before He moves. He waits for you to stop hiding how weak you feel. This verse was not written for people who feel unstoppable. It was written for people who feel exactly like you do right now. This is why you must not despise this moment. Do not numb it. Do not scroll past it. Do not talk yourself out of it. The weariness you feel is not the end of your story, it is the doorway to a deeper grace. This night is a hinge. What you do with your heart right now matters more than what you do with your hands tomorrow. You are not failing because you feel weak. You are being invited to stop pretending you are strong. God is ready to meet you here, in the honesty, in the fatigue, in the quiet surrender. And when He does, you will realize this contradiction was not meant to break you, it was meant to reveal Him. If this message is speaking directly to you, take one deliberate action right now. Like this message, share it with someone who feels the same tension. Subscribe to stay connected, and at the end of this moment, comment 77 as a sign that you choose grace over self-pressure and alignment over fear. You did not imagine the pressure that followed you into this season. It was not random stress, not bad luck, not simply the weight of adulthood or responsibility. It was targeted, precise, measured. You were squeezed in areas you thought were safe. Relationships shifted without explanation. Doors that once opened easily became stubbornly closed. Conversations felt heavier. Silence grew louder, and slowly, almost without noticing, you found yourself standing more alone than you ever expected. This isolation was not punishment, it was preparation. You wondered why fewer people could understand you now, why your words landed differently, why what once excited others now made them uncomfortable. The truth is painful but holy. Your calling began to outgrow the rooms you were in. And when that happens, God does not always announce it. He simply starts removing what can no longer travel with you. Pressure reveals structure. When weight is applied, whatever is weak bends first. God allowed pressure not to crush you, but to show you what could not remain. Some attachments fell away because they were never meant to endure what is coming. Some habits became uncomfortable because they no longer matched who you are becoming. Some voices faded because they were tuned to an older version of you. You thought isolation meant abandonment. Heaven called it refinement. In the quiet, you were forced to face yourself without distractions. No applause, no validation, no borrowed strength from being needed by others. Just you and the truth. This is where many turn back. This is where many compromise. But you stayed. Even when you did not understand, you stayed. That is why you are still being spoken to now. The pressure exposed something else as well. Your endurance. You learned how to stand without being seen. How to obey without being praised. How to keep your heart soft while circumstances hardened. These lessons cannot be taught in crowds. They are learned in hidden places under weight where only God is watching. You were isolated because your spirit needed recalibration. Too many voices distort clarity. Too much noise dulls discernment. God pulled you aside not because you were weak, but because you were sensitive enough to hear Him once the noise stopped. Isolation sharpened you. It stripped away borrowed beliefs and forced you to decide what you truly believe when no one is clapping. You felt delayed, but delay was mercy. Some outcomes would have destroyed you if they had arrived too early. Some doors stayed shut because your character needed time to mature to match the assignment. God was not slow. He was precise. This is where misunderstanding hurt the most. people assumed you changed. They did not see the wrestling. They did not feel the weight you carried alone at night. They did not know how many times you chose obedience over relief. They judged the silence without knowing the conversations you were having with God. Pressure revealed your dependence. Isolation revealed your identity. You are beginning to understand now if God had left you surrounded by comfort, you would never have discovered how deeply rooted your faith could become. Comfort keeps things shallow. Pressure drives roots downward. And roots that grow deep can hold what is coming without toppling. You questioned yourself in this season. You asked if you missed God, if you misunderstood His voice, if you were foolish for continuing when evidence was thin, but doubt did not disqualify you. It refined you. You learned the difference between God's voice and your emotions. You learned how to move forward without certainty, trusting character over clarity. There is a sacred loneliness that only the chosen experience, not because they are better, but because their assignment requires separation before influence. You cannot carry light without first learning how to sit with it alone. You cannot speak truth with authority until you have lived it privately. What you lost was not taken from you, it was released from you. What left did so because it could not survive the next level of obedience. God did not strip you to leave you empty. He cleared space so you could be filled with something greater. Heaven speaks clearly through the ancient words recorded in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verse 2. Remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the wilderness these 40 years, to humble and test you in order to know what was in your heart, whether or not you would keep His commands. The wilderness was never about distance, it was about depth. God already knew where He was taking you. The journey was not for Him to learn about you, it was for you to discover what lived inside your obedience. Pressure uncovered loyalty. Isolation uncovered faithfulness. You were tested not to be rejected, but to be trusted. Now you can see it more clearly. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not wasting time. You are being formed in ways that will soon make sense. The loneliness taught you how to listen. The pressure taught you how to endure. And the silence taught you how to recognize God's voice when it matters most. This section of your story was quiet on purpose. Foundations are poured underground. No one applauds that part, but without it, nothing above survives. You are still here because you passed tests you did not even know you were taking. And what comes next will require everything you learned when no one was watching. You are standing in a moment where delay feels harmless, but heaven calls it dangerous. Not because God is harsh, but because timing is holy. This is why the story you are about to remember was never meant to scare you. It was meant to awaken you. Jesus once told a story not to the crowds, but to those who believed they were already close to the kingdom. It was a story about 10 virgins, 10 people who all looked ready on the outside, 10 who were invited, 10 who believed they had time, and yet only half of them entered. All 10 had lamps, all 10 were waiting, all 10 expected the bridegroom. From the outside, there was no visible difference. This is what makes the story so unsettling. The line between readiness and loss was not belief, it was preparation. 5 were wise, 5 were foolish, not immoral, not rebellious, just unprepared. The foolish virgins did not reject the invitation. They did not mock the wedding. They did not walk away. They simply assumed there would be more time later. They carried lamps, but no extra oil. They planned for the moment, but not for the delay. And delay is where many callings die quietly. You see yourself here more than you want to admit. You love God, you believe, you show up, you carry a lamp. But this season is exposing a question you cannot ignore anymore. Are you sustaining the fire, or just displaying the lamp? Oil in Scripture represents intimacy, obedience, vigilance, what cannot be borrowed at the last minute. The foolish virgins tried. When they realized the bridegroom was near, they asked others to share oil, but oil cannot be transferred. Readiness cannot be rushed. Relationship cannot be copied. This is the warning hidden inside the grace of the story. Proximity to the wise does not make you wise. Familiarity with truth does not equal obedience to truth. Being invited does not guarantee entrance. The bridegroom delayed. That is key. All 10 fell asleep. Even the wise grew tired. But when the cry rang out at midnight, "Here comes the bridegroom," only those who prepared for delay were ready for arrival. This is where many misunderstand God. They think delay means permission. They think silence means safety. They think tomorrow will be more convenient than today. But heaven measures readiness differently than humans do. God is patient, but moments are precise. The foolish virgins were not locked out because they were evil. They were locked out because they treated preparation as optional. And when they returned, knocking, pleading, calling out, they heard the most chilling words in the parable. "I do not know you, not I never knew you, but I do not know you." Relationship neglected becomes relationship unrecognized. This is not about fear. This is about clarity. God is not threatening you. He is warning you because you matter. This night matters. This season matters. Man, you are closer than you think. And that is exactly why preparation can no longer be postponed. You have been telling yourself you will get serious later. Pray later. Obey later. Let go later. Forgive later. But later is not guaranteed, and even when it comes, it may not wait for you to feel ready. The wise virgins were not frantic when the cry came. They were not scrambling. They were calm because they had already decided. They had already paid the price in advance: extra oil, extra discipline, extra obedience when it seemed unnecessary. This is what separates the called from the chosen. Calling invites. Choosing requires response. The story is not about lamps. Everyone had those. It is about oil, about what you do when no one is watching, about what you carry when the night stretches longer than expected, about whether your devotion survives delay. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 13, "Therefore keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour." Watchfulness is not anxiety. It is attentiveness. It is living as if timing matters, because it does. God does not rush, but he does arrive. And when he does, readiness is revealed instantly. This is why this message feels weighty. You are not being condemned, you are being invited to wake up before the cry sounds. You still have time to get oil. You still have time to align. You still have time to prepare, not out of fear, but out of honor for what you have been invited into. If this warning pierces you, it is mercy. Conviction is not rejection. It is evidence that the door is not shut yet. But do not confuse mercy with delay. Mercy gives you a window, not an extension. At the end of this moment, comment, "I am ready." This is not for visibility, it is for decision. When you type it, you are not proving anything to people. You are marking a line in your own spirit, declaring that preparation is no longer optional and obedience will no longer wait. What you are stepping into now is not a new personality, not a borrowed confidence, not a louder version of who you used to be. It is an activation. Something that was always there is beginning to breathe. You were not preserved through pressure and warning just to survive. You were preserved to awaken. Activation rarely feels dramatic at first. It often feels subtle, almost unsettling. Old comforts no longer satisfy. Old fears no longer fully control you. You begin to notice a quiet authority replacing the need to explain yourself. You are less reactive, more discerning. You listen longer. You speak slower. This is not passivity, it is alignment. Your chosen identity was never about status. It was about responsibility. God does not awaken you to impress people. He awakens you to carry weight, and weight requires structure. That is why your life had to be stripped down earlier so it could hold what is coming without collapsing. You are realizing that your story was not wasted time. Every delay trained your discernment. Every disappointment refined your motives. Every lonely night sharpened your hearing. What once felt like survival mode is now revealed as formation mode. You were being trained to recognize truth without noise, direction without applause, and obedience without guarantees. This activation is internal before it is visible. You may not feel ready in the way the world defines readiness, but something deeper has settled in you. You are less interested in escape and more committed to assignment, less drawn to comfort and more anchored in purpose. This shift matters. God does not activate people randomly. He activates them when their identity is strong enough to withstand misunderstanding. When you no longer need constant validation. When you can be faithful even if results are delayed. When obedience becomes your language, not just your intention. You are starting to see clearly who you are not. That clarity is just as important as knowing who you are. You are not meant to chase every opportunity. You are not meant to explain every silence. You are not meant to fight every battle. Discernment is part of your authority now. This is where many people hesitate. They wait for permission from others to step into what God already confirmed privately. But activation does not come from consensus. It comes from obedience. The moment you stop asking, do they approve, and start asking, am I aligned, is the moment movement begins. Your preservation was intentional. There were moments you should have burned out, but you didn't. Moments you should have quit, but something restrained you. Moments you should have hardened, but your heart stayed tender. That was not luck. That was protection. God guarded the core of you because it carries something that must not be damaged. This is also why resistance increased when clarity approached. Darkness does not react to what is harmless. Confusion does not surround what has no direction. The opposition you sensed was not proof of failure. It was confirmation of proximity. Now comes a sober truth. Activation requires participation. God does not drag you into purpose. He invites you to walk into it. That means choosing consistency over comfort, integrity over image, obedience over explanation. You will feel the pull to return to what is familiar, but familiar is no longer safe. It is limiting. This is not about becoming flawless. It is about becoming available. Heaven can work with availability far more than with raw ability. You do not need full clarity, you need responsiveness. Direction often sharpens once you begin moving, not before. As the apostle reminded the church in the book of Philippians, chapter 1, verse 6. He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. This truth steadies you. Activation is not something you manufacture, it is something God continues. What began long before this moment is still unfolding. The work was initiated by Him, sustained by Him, and will be completed by Him. Your role is not to perfect it, but to cooperate with it. This verse removes the pressure to perform and replaces it with responsibility to remain faithful. You are not holding yourself together, God is. You are not guessing your way forward, you are walking out something already in motion. The pressure you endured did not interrupt the process, it strengthened it. As this identity activates more fully, your life may become simpler but heavier. Fewer distractions, clearer priorities, stronger boundaries. Do not apologize for this. Simplicity is not loss, it is focus. And focus is dangerous to anything that opposes purpose. If this message resonates, let it move beyond you. A quiet like or share can place this word in front of someone who is standing where you once stood, confused, pressured, unsure if the stirring inside them matters. And if staying connected to these messages continues to sharpen your discernment. Subscribing is not obligation. It is alignment with the stream that supports what God is awakening. You are not being activated for noise. You are being activated for weight. And what comes next will require the version of you that pressure refined, not the version comfort preferred. There is a reason this message keeps circling back to timing. Not just seasons, not just years, but hours. Moments, the threshold between night and morning. Because what God is preparing to release is not vague, it is scheduled. And the release does not always announce itself with noise. Often, it comes quietly, right after you thought nothing was going to change. Midnight in Scripture is never just a time on a clock. It is a dividing line. It is the moment when human strength is exhausted and divine movement begins. You have reached that place emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. You have done what you can do. You have waited longer than you planned. You have endured more than you expected. And now, heaven is watching how you stand when the night stretches its longest. After midnight is when patterns break. You may not feel excitement about what is coming, you feel cautious. Hope has learned to whisper instead of shout. But that does not mean heaven is hesitant. It means you have matured. God does not reward desperation. He responds to readiness. And readiness often looks quiet. What is being released after this night is not just an external breakthrough. It is internal clarity. Confusion lifts first. Discernment sharpens. You suddenly know what to say no to without guilt. You recognize distractions faster. You feel less pressure to explain yourself. That shift is not accidental, it is authority settling in. Then come the visible changes. Doors that resisted effort open without strain. Conversations you dreaded resolve with unexpected peace. Opportunities align without manipulation. Provision arrives in ways that do not glorify hustle, but obedience. These are not coincidences stacked together, they are confirmations. After midnight, God releases reversals. What drained you will no longer have the same effect. What delayed you will no longer define you. What opposed you will lose leverage. Not because you fought harder, but because heaven stepped in at the appointed time. You were never meant to force this season. You were meant to outlast it. This is why impatience was such a threat. If you had quit early, you would have missed the handoff. If you had compromised, you would have arrived early but empty. God kept you waiting because what He is releasing requires capacity, not just desire. After midnight, you stop chasing and start stewarding. Blessings without stewardship become burdens. God waited until your discernment matched the weight of what He is about to entrust to you. You no longer crave recognition the way you used to. You value peace more than approval. That tells heaven you are ready. Some of what is being released will not look dramatic to others, but it will change everything for you. Rest returns. Sleep deepens. Anxiety loosens its grip. Creativity flows again. These are not small things. They are signs that alignment has replaced resistance. Do not overlook this after midnight. God often releases instruction before reward. A nudge, a direction, a quiet conviction. Obey it quickly. Delayed obedience delays manifestation. You do not need full understanding, you need responsiveness. This is also the hour when separation becomes visible. Some people will not be able to follow you into what opens next. Not because they are bad, but because their season with you has ended. Do not drag what God has released. Trust Him enough to move forward light. You are not stepping into chaos. You are stepping into order. What felt unstable before was actually being rearranged. God was moving things out of sequence so they could be restored correctly. After midnight, things make sense in hindsight. You realize why certain doors stayed shut, why certain prayers felt unanswered, why certain delays felt cruel. They were protective. The release after midnight often arrives disguised as normalcy. A regular day, a simple conversation, a small decision. But behind it is a spiritual shift that has been building quietly for longer than you know. We are reminded through the writings of David in the book of Psalms, chapter 30, verse 5. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Notice the certainty. Not might come, not could come, comes. Morning is not optional, it is scheduled. Night has a limit, and you have reached it. This does not mean everything becomes easy. It means everything becomes purposeful. Resistance no longer confuses you. Delay no longer discourages you. You understand now that God is intentional with timing because timing protects destiny. After midnight, you will notice your prayers change. Less begging, more agreement, less panic, more trust. That is maturity. Heaven responds quickly to prayers that align with what it already intends to do. Do not rush this moment. Honor it. You are crossing from endurance into expression, from waiting into walking, from surviving into stewarding. And what you carry next will require the calm strength you learned in the dark. At the end of this moment, comment 999. This number is not superstition, it represents completion of a cycle and readiness for transition. When you comment it, you are marking in your own spirit that you have endured the night and you are prepared to step into what God releases after midnight. There comes a moment in every calling when momentum pauses not because God stopped moving, but because a decision is required. This is that moment for you, not loud, not dramatic, quiet, weighty, unmistakable. Heaven has brought you to a narrowing path where continuation without clarity is no longer possible. You cannot drift forward from here. You must choose. This decision is not about belief. You already believe. It is not about intention. Your intentions have been sincere. It is about alignment, about whether your daily obedience will finally catch up to what your spirit has known for a long time. Crowns are not given for potential. They are secured through perseverance. You have reached the place where partial obedience is no longer enough. What once felt like flexibility now feels like friction. The things you used to justify no longer sit comfortably in your conscience. That discomfort is not condemnation, it is invitation. God is asking you to decide who you are willing to disappoint in order to remain faithful. This is where many people stall, not because they lack faith, but because they fear loss. Choosing alignment often costs something tangible: relationships, habits, timelines, identities you have outgrown but not fully released. The crown is not denied here, it is offered, but it cannot be worn by someone still clinging to what God already asked them to lay down. You are beginning to understand that destiny is not stolen. It is forfeited through indecision. God does not revoke callings lightly, but He will allow delay to harden into stagnation if obedience keeps being postponed. This is not punishment, it is respect. God respects your agency enough to let your choices shape your pace. The crown you are approaching is not symbolic. It represents authority, stewardship, influence, and responsibility. And crowns are heavy. That is why God tests consistency before He releases visibility. It is why He watches how you choose when no one is forcing you. This decision will not be announced publicly. No one will clap when you make it. It will happen internally, in the privacy of your resolve. A quiet yes where a loud excuse used to be. A firm boundary where there used to be compromise. A surrendered habit where there used to be justification. You are not being asked to do more. You are being asked to be truer. This choice will clarify your path immediately. Not because everything becomes easy, but because everything becomes honest. You will stop negotiating with what you already know. You will stop asking for signs where conviction already exists. That clarity alone will feel like freedom. There is a spiritual principle at work here. Crowns are not given at the start of a race. They are given to those who finish faithfully. And faithfulness is proven in repetition, not intensity, in daily alignment, not emotional peaks. You have proven endurance. You have proven sensitivity. Now heaven is watching consistency. This is also where fear tries one last strategy: urgency without obedience. It will whisper that you are running out of time, that you must act quickly, that you must grab something now. But God does not rush you into crowns. He steadies you into them. Panic is not from Him. Pressure to obey is different. It is calm, firm, and clear. You do not need to fear missing out. What is meant for you will not pass you by while you are obeying God. But what is meant for you can remain out of reach if you refuse to choose alignment when it is required. This decision secures your crown because it settles your direction. Once settled, resistance loses leverage, temptation loses persuasion, distraction loses appeal. You may still feel opposition, but it will no longer confuse you. You will know why you are standing where you are standing. The ancient words recorded by the Apostle Paul in the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8, speak into this moment with precision. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but also to all who have longed for His appearing. Notice the language. The crown is stored, reserved, waiting. But it is awarded, not assumed. Longing alone does not secure it. Faithful endurance does. Paul speaks these words not at the beginning of his calling, but at the end of a life marked by obedience, sacrifice, and unwavering alignment. This is not meant to intimidate you. It is meant to dignify the moment you are in. You are closer than you think, and because you are close, the decision feels heavier. Weight increases near fulfillment. That is normal. You are not being tested to see if you are worthy. You are being invited to walk worthy of what has already been entrusted to you. There is a difference. God does not set traps. He sets thresholds. Crossing this threshold will simplify your life, not immediately, but decisively. You will stop entertaining what no longer serves your assignment. You will stop explaining what God already confirmed. You will move forward with fewer words and more clarity. This is where the crown is secured, not placed on your head yet, but locked into your future. Your obedience here becomes a reference point heaven will honor later. When pressure returns, when responsibility increases, when influence expands, this decision will be what keeps you grounded. You are not choosing perfection. You are choosing direction. And direction, once chosen, shapes everything that follows. Stand here, decide here, and then keep walking. You do not step back into the world the same way you entered this night. Something has marked you. Not visibly, not loudly but unmistakably. You carry a clarity now that did not exist before, a steadiness that cannot be explained by circumstance. You were not merely comforted through this process, you were commissioned. To be marked by heaven is not to escape the world, it is to be sent back into it changed. You once thought being chosen meant being removed, protected from hardship, elevated above struggle. Now you understand the truth is far more demanding and far more glorious. Being chosen means being trusted, trusted to walk into broken places without becoming broken, trusted to carry light without becoming proud, trusted to remain obedient when applause is absent. You are not marked to withdraw, you are marked to return. Return to your work, but not with the same motives. Return to your relationships, but not with the same boundaries. Return to your daily life, but not with the same identity. You are sent back carrying discernment instead of confusion, peace instead of panic, authority instead of fear. The world will not know what shifted, but you will, and darkness will recognize it immediately. Marked ones do not announce themselves. They are revealed by impact. You will notice it in conversations. People will open up without knowing why. You will notice it in resistance. Certain things that once tempted you will no longer hold power. You will notice it in decisions. You will choose correctly faster, with less internal conflict. This is not because life became simpler, it is because you became clearer. Being sent back does not mean the struggle disappears. It means struggle no longer defines you. You will still face opposition, but it will not confuse your calling. You will still feel pressure, but it will not steal your peace. You will still walk through uncertainty, but you will not walk alone. This is the responsibility of the marked. You are now accountable to what you know. Ignorance no longer protects you, but neither does it threaten you. Knowledge paired with obedience becomes authority, and authority exercised in humility becomes influence. God does not send marked people back to impress others. He sends them back to interrupt patterns, to speak when silence has been normal, to stand when compromise is expected, to remain calm when fear dominates the atmosphere. This is how light works. It does not argue with darkness. It displaces it. You will not always feel powerful, but you will feel anchored. And that anchoring will steady others even when you do not realize it. People will draw strength from your presence, not because you preach, but because you carry peace without explanation. Do not rush to define your assignment. Live it. Walk it. Obey the next instruction without demanding the full map. Heaven reveals direction progressively to those who stay responsive. You are sent back changed, so you can change environments not by force, but by consistency, not by domination, but by endurance, not by noise, but by faithfulness. There will be moments you are tempted to shrink back, to become invisible again, to avoid responsibility. Remember, this marking cannot be undone by fear, but it can be muted by disobedience. Stay aligned. Stay watchful. Stay humble. This world does not need louder voices. It needs steadier ones. You have been through pressure so you could become that steady presence. You were isolated so you could learn how to stand alone if necessary. You were warned so you would not drift. You were activated so you would not waste what was entrusted to you. Now you are sent, as Jesus himself declared to his followers in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Notice what he does not say. He does not say you should become the light. He says you are. Light does not strive, it shines. A city on a hill does not advertise it is visible because of where it stands. Your task is not to prove anything. Your task is to remain where God places you and live aligned. Visibility will come naturally. Influence will follow obedience. Impact will grow quietly and then suddenly. If this journey has spoken to you, allow it to continue moving. A simple like or share is not about algorithms, it is about alignment. Someone else is standing at the edge of their own night, and this message may be the light they need to recognize it. And if these words have helped anchor you through this season, subscribing is not a transaction, it is a decision to remain connected to a stream that keeps pointing you back to obedience and clarity. You are not returning empty-handed. You are not returning uncertain. You are returning marked. Carry it well. You do not need to rush away from this moment. Let it settle. Let it breathe. Not everything God does needs an immediate reaction. Some things are meant to be carried quietly before they are ever expressed outwardly. What matters most is not what you do next on a screen, but what you do next in your spirit. The night has spoken. The process has marked you. The clarity you feel now is not accidental, and it is not temporary unless you ignore it. You are walking forward with more awareness than you had before. That alone changes the trajectory. You will notice it in small decisions, in what you tolerate, in what you release, in how you listen. These subtle shifts are often the loudest evidence that God has been at work. If you feel led to like or share this message, let it be from sincerity, not pressure. If it helped you, it may help someone else. If it didn't, that's okay too. Obedience is personal. Alignment is individual. What matters is that you leave this space more awake than you entered it. The story is not finished. It is still unfolding quietly, deliberately, faithfully. And you are still moving, one aligned step at a time.